There are thousands of things you might do to grow your business. So there isn't any shortage of options. And in fact, it can sometimes be a little bit paralyzing trying to decide the methods that you should use. Should you start a podcast? Should you write a blog? Should you post a TikTok or Instagram? There's a number of things that you could do. But the truth is you shouldn't do any of those things until you understand why you would be doing them. And to understand that, you need to really take a top-down look at digital marketing as a whole, and you can really pin it back to the fundamentals of marketing. And that's what we're going to discuss today in our podcast. Hello and welcome to the podcast. I'm here with George today, and we're going to be discussing the fundamentals of marketing to help give you a good plan and a good strategy to decide which methods you should be using to promote your business. George, how's it going this week?
Hello, yeah, all good over here. Living the dream in lockdown. Same as.
The dream still continues.
It does, yeah.
So when it comes to looking at digital business growth, it can be broken down into a couple of simple steps. And it's very similar to marketing as a whole when we talk about the 4 Ps of marketing. They're all fundamentals of marketing. So the 4 Ps being product, price, promotion, and place. So what is your product? Where do you sell it? So the place. How much do you sell it for is the price. And then the promotion is, of course, the sort of more obvious one when it comes to marketing. How are you going to promote it? So when it crosses over to digital marketing, we can look at that as the offer. So what does the customer get from what you're selling? So that's where you talk about the advantages, the benefits of the product and the service that you offer. And then traffic could be the next step. So it's kind of how do customers know that you exist? So that could be, a bit of the promotion side of it a bit more when you relay it back like that. So whether it's an ad that you run or, you put promotions out and leafleting, whatever type of marketing you may use, and the copywriting of it. So how you actually articulate the value of your offer. So as I said, I really want to focus on the actual planning side of it today and thinking about what is the right thing to do when it comes to it, because there are just so many options out there. And George and I, when we're looking at things, you can get lost for hours looking at different methods and different approaches towards doing things. And it's exactly why we spend a good amount of time researching and doing discovery sessions with clients before we actually nail down into starting a strategy. So when we start then with the offer itself, it doesn't mean, something's not selling. It doesn't mean that the product or the service you're selling is bad. Or that people won't want it. The problem might be that the offer itself or how you're trying to sell it, or just simply trying to sell what you sell isn't quite right. So making sure you fully understand the features and the benefits of your service can be quite important. So it's definitely worth thinking about that. Place, as I mentioned, how you sell it, where you sell it. You've got to think about making a journey as frictionless as possible for your customers. So, for example, are you selling online? Is it easy to sell online? Is it easy for them to buy online? If you're selling a service, how many forms or phone calls or conversations do they have to go through before you actually get to the point of starting the service? So you've got to think about all these different ways that you can make the process as easy as possible. But before I go too deep into talking too much, George, I thought perhaps I'd get you to go through some of the price sides of things and how price can affect how well a product sells.
Yeah, sure. I think it's super easy, especially with the takeoff of content marketing. Everyone kind of just piles content out and thinks, oh, this will eventually get my business some sales, or this is the way to make money, but not necessarily. I think there's a handful of things that you've got to look at. And I think let's go through a few that are listed I've written here of ways that you can essentially make an offer online that works. So the first is payment terms. If it's a bigger product or a service that you're offering, is it one payment of £800 or is it 3 different payments of 200 and whatever? Yeah. And splitting it up like that, it makes it look more attractive, doesn't it, by doing that?
It's a smaller number, isn't it? So
yep.
Again, it helps.
It's also more manageable for smaller businesses, etc. Think about bundling your products and services together. Maybe, having, if you offer 2 services that are key, maybe put them together in the same deal. Maybe you can find a way to make them relevant to more customers by doing that.
And I don't know if you've got any examples as well, but a great example of bundling, because bundling happens all the time. You think when people buy a new phone contract, for example, quite often you can get something like Spotify or Netflix thrown in with your phone contract if you want to. And that's a classic example of bundling different packages or services together. So I'm not saying everyone can do deals with other companies to put their stuff together, but it might be that you have two similar services that actually could be bundled together. So looking at how you structure your offering can help. So bundling is a great one to mention.
Yeah, that also comes down to like business fundamentals, isn't it? In a sense. Anyway.
Yeah.
Another cool way to do it is a free trial, whether it be 6 months if you're going for a bigger service, I think it may be doable, or just a week for some stuff if it's like a blog post or whatever. That's a really good way to get customers with having no upfront costs, so they're interested, they have a look.
And it depends on the business as well and the service that you're offering. But yeah, I mean, free trials. We've all been there with free trials. Some we sign up for, some we don't. Some you get as far as it asking you for a credit card detail, and you think, oh, I can't be bothered with that.
Yeah.
So even a free trial, sometimes you can't give it away, but it might just be that step for some businesses. Like I say, we're looking at this from a top-down view.
I think the free trial is a really good way to kind of, if they was interested before, just top it off and just get them into your business, I guess. Just have a taste.
Mm-hmm.
And on that topic, giving someone a little bonus or something for joining up, whether or buy this phone in the next 2 days and get a free pair of earphones or something like that, something just to kind of sweeten the deal of your offer or thing, which kind of catches the eye of especially on social media. If they're scrolling through and they see, oh, we can get this for free, it's always a freebie that kind of sweetens the deal for people, isn't it?
And I think as business owners and people watching, you will absolutely be customers every single day as well. So you can look at what other companies are doing and think, what do I buy into? What do I go for? What generally entices me to a deal? And is that something that I can apply to what my company does? Did you get a nice gift voucher that came with a service that you bought? And then thought, oh, I really liked that. And then you went and spent more or something like that with the company. There's so many reasons you can get people to come back to your company, and it just depends. But like I say, yeah, I think, and you can look at your competitors as well. If you can see a competitor doing something that's clearly working quite well, then that could also be something that you might try and adopt for your business too.
That's one of the beauties of social media. You can copycat so easily, but it's also one of the downfalls.
Yeah.
Cool. Another way to do it is with a guarantee, whether it be get these results in 5 months or something like that. Just a guarantee to give the customer confidence that if something doesn't go as they think it will, then they can get their money back or they can get a return or whatever. So it kind of takes the risk out for the customer if they feel scared of committing to a service because they didn't think they was going to get the results.
And I think that's, for me, that's always a strong one. I tend to actually prefer that to free trials personally, just because generally once a customer actually has the service up and running, if you're going to do a good job, then they're not going to need the guarantee to claim the money back. Whereas the free trial, they still kind of potentially have to sign up at the end of it or make the decision to continue it. I think it's once they're in with the guarantee, if you do a good job, then you're there. But yeah, I mean, again, it's different for everyone. Different businesses all work different ways, but there's a few good options there. I think the bundling one is one that we potentially use the most. As a agency, if I put into our pricing plans that we're going to charge this much to run an Instagram campaign, this much for the Twitter campaign, this much for the Facebook campaign, this much to post it to Google Business Posting for you, this much to make a video for you, this much for the graphic design part of the content, this much for the video animation part of the content. You get the idea. It'd just be bonkers, wouldn't it? So
it's overwhelming, isn't it? Kind of.
Yeah, and you've got to remember that when people are buying your products and services, then now we've got the price part of it sorted. The next thing is to think about the product and the offering itself, and that kind of goes part and parcel with what I was just saying. people don't necessarily want what you're selling, they want the result that it gives them. So that's something really key to think about as well when you're pricing. So pricing and packaging. So in our case, if we're selling a social media management service to somebody, they don't want all those things that I just listed. I won't do it again. But they want the results of either getting more leads or getting more brand exposure or growing their brand, or getting more sign-ups to a service or package or product that they're selling. That's what they're looking for. And therefore we can match our offering to do that and think about how we sell it that way. So that's where you could have a product that is perhaps not priced the right way, like we just discussed. So that might trip you up. And then, as we just established, then the actual offering of how you package it up could be causing you some problems. The actual price itself may be too high or too low, as well as not being put together the correct way. And then the way you deliver the product, so the place of sale, whether it's online, digital, might not be easy enough. So you can see how there's a real vast area that could affect selling the product beyond just simply how much it costs or the promotion that you use. It's a combination of all these different aspects and how you draw them together. So if you've got any other points to add around that topic.
I guess you could go and speak for hours again about getting the content actually to them as well, which I guess you've kind of covered. But then there's all of the strategies to just your product may be perfect, be priced perfectly, have the perfect bundle, but if you're facing that product or your poster in a sense at a wall, no one's going to see that poster, so they're not going to have any interest in it. So that's when it really comes down to your actual marketing strategy and your ads that you're running, the content you're posting. Is it providing value to the right people? It may be like if you're writing the most incredible blog post about motorsport, but you're showing it to people who are interested in fashion and makeup, then you're going to think that your content's rubbish and it's useless. But that's not how social works, is it? You can choose. You can be so specific nowadays on how you target your content that you can pretty much face it at an individual in a sense.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's so important when it comes to digital marketing and where its advantages really lie. Like you say, you can target it so specifically. So just to make that crystal clear and put it into context, if a company's running an ad on TV, that TV ad, although they can still put it between the sort of television program that their user base might watch, it's a very broad audience still. So the advert has to cater to a lot of people. It's kind of very vanilla. Whereas when you're digital marketing, you can literally hone right down onto someone who is a Manchester United fan or a Chelsea Football Club fan. And then you think about how your product that you offer might differ from that person to that person. Because if you imagine the Manchester United fans scrolling through and there's a reference to something that's relevant to them, that's going to resonate with them. They're going to stop scrolling. They're going to look at it long enough to at least acknowledge your offer, and then potentially will then take the next step. The fact that you can do that is so important, and that's where people sometimes run 1 or 2 ads on platforms when really they should be running 100 or 200 ads on the platforms to really nail down those things. So that's a great point as well. Cool. Well, look, I think our plan was to keep it short and sweet with this one today. We'll probably delve more into the promotion side next time. We've started it a little bit there, but that was really just a bit about the key takeaway being: think about the product, how you offer it, where you offer it. Think about the price. Can you price it differently? Can you potentially put it into a bundle and all the things that George said? And the promotion and stuff will then kind of follow on from that. But it's really important to understand first.
The whole conversation of promotion is a spiraling conversation of length.
and features and advantages and benefits of your product. You've got to understand what is it your customers are really taking from your product that you're offering. So it might not be what the marketing side of the company thinks. The customer might tell you it's another part of your product that they really value. you know, it might be the time you save them doing X, Y, or Z, whereas you thought it was this cool feature that you offer. You know, so think about that as well. But anyway, we'll focus more on promotion next time, along with some other stuff. But thank you very much for watching, as always. And as always, please do ask us any questions in the comments. You know, hit us up, tell us some stuff that you'd like us to talk about and discuss in the world of marketing. We want to make this relevant and valuable to you that watch. So thanks very much once again, and we will see you next time.